No, I know why you asked me to clarify. Did you just say Dylan? Too many Stromes. Good thing and we don't have Sutters. Was it? Were you happy being Ryan? So that's usually the bad one.
Just want to ask, you guys have a perfect record in the preseason. You've been winning some games. Is there anything you're not happy with that you would like to see more of your team do better?
Well, that's a loaded question because we haven't even begun yet, and we need to improve in almost every area. There's polish up that has to happen in special teams. There's some chemistry with lines. There's defending better. There's adapting to the new rules. We still have to do a better job of that. We can't keep marching to the box. We saw what happened the other day in the second period when we took 3 or 4 in a row. Took a lot of players out of the game. So there's a lot of stuff that we have to work on. And when you play games, you play to win. And our team has done a good job of that. But we can't get overly excited about our exhibition record. I think Denver or Colorado went 6-0 last year. So when the real stuff starts, that's when you better be winning games.
Todd, Ryan Strome said this morning that he had a chance to look at some of the clips from the other night and looks at this as a learning experience. Maybe just talk about what you hope he takes from that and kind of the expectation level that you want to put there, for all your players. Yeah,
and in Ryan's case, it was a message that we sent to him fairly early in the process, just so that he gets it out of his system early. I'd rather do that now than do it 2 or 3 games into the year and have him confused or wondering what or why. And then we sat, Woody sat with him today and went through some video clips, and we expect him to respond and be better. And we're still trying to figure him out as he's trying to figure us out. But we're going to push him. I told him that the very first day he came in here. We're going to push him to be the player that we believe he is. And hopefully it pays off for him and for us.
Todd, last week there was a story in Spain about Messi not being easy to play with out of deference because everybody that plays with him wants to give him the ball and maybe give up part of their game. And we've heard the same at times in past with Crosby. It's been unique that Dupuis had some success there as an example. So maybe just a thought on that. A player still being who he is and not necessarily always deferring to the unique skill set that Connor possesses.
Well, there's probably something to that. But I think that we overanalyze players with Connor, with Sid, with Lionel Messi. They're on, those guys are at the top of the world, and they're operating at a pace and a speed and a skill level that not everybody can get to. So we have a tendency to see, out of 10 plays or opportunities, 6 or 7 may be unsuccessful. So we go there. That's the volume of it instead of the 2 or 3 that are. And, it's special to play with special players. You do have to learn to read and react to them quickly. But I've never had anybody come in and say, I don't want to play with Connor, or at the World Championships, I'm not playing with Sid because, this goes on. They're all begging to play with these guys. So take advantage of it and make it happen.
Todd, Cam Talbot's been a very sort of quiet goaltender. He doesn't waste a lot of movement in net. And just through the preseason, it seems there's been similar kind of performances and movement from Brossoit and Ellis. Is there like a way Oilers goaltenders play now, or did this come from somewhere?
Well, a couple things and a good observation. Dustin Schwartz has had plenty of opportunity now and time to work with the goaltenders to give him an idea of setting goals for the game, what may or may not happen, working on their technique and their style. And I know one thing that Dustin told me is he's not going to change somebody. He's going to work to their strengths and help them. I think a lot of goaltenders play a similar style. Some are a little more acrobatic and a little more erratic than maybe Cam is. But we're seeing our goaltenders grow, get more confident, and they've had a lot of good work with Dustin.
Todd, Ryan Stanton blocked that shot last week, so he missed the weekend games. He'll get in tonight against Senses.
No, he won't get in tonight.
He won't get in
Play,
tonight?
and it's not because we're not playing him. It's because he's got that injury. So we'll see where. I'm sorry to interrupt you too, Jason, but we'll see where he is tomorrow and figure it out from there.
An injury like that against a guy who is somebody you wanted to see in a battle for a spot, how much does that hinder a player? Is it really hard to make an evaluation? Do you need a minimum set of games from a guy in the preseason that you haven't seen on your team before?
Well, the good thing in Ryan's case is he's played in the league. He knows what it feels like. He knows the intensity. He knows that it's going to get cranked up. We would just like to get him polished up so that he has a fair opportunity to get out there and compete. But I consider him a veteran player. He's going to have to adjust his training methods and his mental approach so that he's ready to play when he is healthy, and you get a shorter camp to prove that you should be here, but he'll take advantage of it.
Todd, and I apologize if this was hit on Saturday night after the game. Just to, you obviously have an acquaintance with Bill. Was there sort of a gentleman's agreement into how you approach these two games? Maybe a better lineup tonight?
Well,
that works.
Bill must have been bored because he phoned me like real early August and he was planning his lineup. So that shows work ethic. He's a great coach and a good friend. But he talked about maybe a little bit stronger here and then some of the younger kids in Saskatoon. So we built our lineup around that shared conversation. We look forward to that. We need some good competition to push us, and perhaps this will be as good as we've seen, and I don't mean that disrespectfully to any of the other teams. It's just the way you build your lineups when you go on the road.
Todd, bigger picture here. There's a lot of politics wrapped up in sports right now, south of the border. You coach professional athletes. If an athlete were to want to use the field of play to make a political statement in some way, sit down on your bench during an anthem, as a head coach of a pro hockey team that's got players from all over the world, how do you view players doing that in those moments?
Well, I have my personal views and my beliefs, and I will behave based on those. And I guess we have to allow the players to have freedom of speech. I would hope that they make good, smart decisions, and it's just not random follow the leader type decisions, whether it's on one side of the coin or the other.
There's been a lot of discussion about Kailer Yamamoto and his early success. How do you weigh his early success against the early part of the preseason, and are you waiting to see how he does as the preseason rolls on?
Well, when you're that young and you're entering in, the process that we've gone through benefits him because it's like taking a step each night. He started in Penticton at the Young Guns tournament, and then he came and got into training camp. Now he's played some exhibition games. He played a split squad game. Now he's played against, American League, NHL combination type teams. It's going to get tighter and tighter for him as it goes. And the impressive thing with him is it's actually got better. From his time in Penticton to now, I think he's played better with better players. Okay.